What's up, everybody? I am finally tearing apart the front end, getting new parts on. I've got the pile of parts right here. We're ready. We've got upper and lower control arms. We've got new spindles. We've got new tie rods, new idler arm, new sway bar, what are these? Sway bar links, there we go. New shocks, keeping the springs, of course. Yeah, so let's get into it. This is going to be a long one. Got it. Oof. That's black. That's not light color. That is new. I think he's changed the wheel bearings. That cotter pin looks very new, which is promising because I didn't buy wheel bearings. Guy probably should have grabbed a rag. And that washer holds the bearing in, so we don't want to lose any of this. Let me get a rag before I drop something. What the heck is this? I don't know what that's from. There's the outer bearing. Doesn't look that bad. It also doesn't look like it's got a lot of grease in it, which is not very comforting. So, alright. Again, I don't know how you guys take these out. This is how I do it. Just kind of twist them like that and pull it out. Okay, hear me out. Alright. I'm not reusing any of this. So I'm just going to do something you should never do. I'm going to hit this with a hammer right here to just bust this loose because I don't want to get my pickle forks out. Got it. There we go. Okay, next I'm going to take out the shock, and then I got to move the jack over to the lower control arm so I can bust this loose, and then I can let it slowly out, and we'll go from there. Progress. Shock's out. Had to cut her off with the death wheel. I'm going to pop the bottom control arm, at least bust it loose, bust loose the top, and then I'm going to get the top, I'm going to get the jack up the lower control arm to compress the spring a little bit, get this busted loose, and then we're going to slowly let the jack out and let that back down, and then the spring will just fall right out. There we go. There we go. Don't need those work on anyway. All right. That was pretty good. There we go. Now, we take a break. All right, time to rebuild. Got her all cleaned off with the wire wheel. We're gonna be hitting her with something a little different. We're gonna try the gloss because I'm gonna be using this on the spring. All the suspension stuff's gonna be shiny instead of the semi-gloss. So we're going glossy for this area. Oh yeah, new springs. Kidding. It's just Rust-Oleum. All right. The paint is still drying, but I'm gonna start putting on the lower. I got everything put on it that needs to be put on it right now, so I can at least hang the lower, and that way we can start reassembling everything. Oh my goodness, folks, we got ourselves a battle here. I'm on like hour 3 of trying to get this stinking spring in. We're really close now. Now I just gotta take these off. Take the castle nuts off. I got the cotter pins right there. we're close. We're really close. Nobody freak out. Let's get it done. It's finally seated. Let's freaking go, dude. Oh my goodness, that was terrible. Ugh. Okay, spindle on there. Next. All right. One side almost done. I got to put the sway bar link in, and then this side is done. We've got new shock. Spring is just painted and cleaned. Oh my gosh, you want to talk about a pain in the butt? A spring on a 1994 coil spring, sorry. Coil spring on a 1994 Chevy S10. Got the new drop spindle. Had to clearance it a little bit. That's all right though, no big deal. Upper and lower control arms, new ball joints. Just greased them. You can tell from that. Did about 10 pumps each. That should be plenty. Yeah, this looks so much better. I mean, good Lord, this side of the truck looks brand new. Okay, there's some things I'm reusing. One is the bump stops. Two is the hardware for the shocks, because it's fine, thankfully. Again, Southern trucks, so the bolts are, it's not like the bolts are just totally rusted or destroyed. You can reuse them. And I'm using the mounting hardware for the lower control arm and the upper, because, again, there's nothing wrong with it. Tore the bushing on the upper control arm bump stop right here, so we're going to go to the steering. I'm going to take these two nuts off, pull this side off, and then I'm going to pop that joint loose right there and take this whole thing and puke it out over there where I can build the new steering system that I've got, all new parts, and try to match it as good as I can. All right, I've got everything loose. Well, everything that needs to be loose. I got those two bolts and nuts basically out. I already popped that ball joint, so all I got to do is pull that out. So she's ready to come out, and then we'll start measuring and match it to the one on the table. Oh, there's the steering. And thankfully, I still have the steering wheel straight, so we'll just put this on the ground over here to compare. Oh my goodness. Look how greasy that thing, which is good because, you know, they greased it, but good Lord. All right, I've got it put together. I measured it out, and these aren't tight. The tension arms are to the tie rods. They're not tight right now. The adjustment sleeves, sorry. So the adjustment sleeves I've got still loose, but it's pretty close with the setup we got right now. Okay, I had to take it back off because I didn't have the grease certs in, and they weren't going to be very fun to put in when this was installed. So now the grease certs are in. I greased those two. They're full of grease now. So we'll put them into the idler arm and the pitman arm, and torque those down, and then we're just setting the tie rods after that, which probably going to call it for tonight after that's done. All right. Torqued, greased, torqued and greased, torqued and greased, torqued and greased, torqued and greased. So those are done. Now I just got to get that set and that set with the outer tie rod ends. And hopefully the bump stop, it should show up tomorrow for the upper control arm. That way I can put it on the upper control arm, get the upper and lower control arm on this side, get this side wrapped up, get the tie rod ends put on, try to get it as aligned as possible. And yeah, then we start putting wheel bearings, repacking wheel bearings and rolling with that. All right. Let's try to finish this today. And massive shout out to Amazon next day delivery. Got these bad boys so I can put it in the upper control arm and finally put the upper control arm on. And then we try to fit the spring in there. I gotta get my spring compressor tool, wherever that's at, somewhere floating around here. We'll get after it. Got it. That was harder than I thought. Oh my goodness, finally got it in. I ruined my spring compressor tool. Where's it at? There it is. I got a new one. I've ran to Auto Value or wherever, what is it, Auto Parts, whatever. So it's in there. I got to take the tool out, tighten, I got to torque everything, grease everything, you know the deal. Just repeat from that side. So we'll get her done on this side. Okay, today's the day I finish this project. Got to put sway bar link, got to put repack the wheel bearings, put the rotors back on both sides, torque those down make sure they're tight, put the tie rod ends on, try to align it as good as I can, and then this project is done. Got to grease upper and lower ball joints on this side, and then it's done. Okay, got the dust shields on. Had to clearance them a little bit. Oh, sorry, fingers in the way. Had to clearance them a little bit right here. That's all right with the new drop spindles. You know, had to do the old on the dust shields just to get them all pretty, match everything else. But next, I got to pack some wheel bearings. Okay, got the rotor up on the bench here. Lucked out. These are definitely newer rotors. I mean, this truck has 297,000 miles on it, and there's no groove here. So definitely replaced the rotors fairly recently. So these bearings are still actually good. I'm going to repack them because the grease is a little dark, but if you reach your finger in there, it gets a little bit more red. You can see the red in there. So yeah, I'm going to pop this seal off, get this bearing out, check the races, make sure that the races are good, repack the bearings, and throw it on and do the other side. Oh, it's done. It is finally done. This is a completely rebuilt stock front end. On both sides, I've replaced the upper and lower control arms, new drop spindles, 2-inch drop spindles to be exact, repacked the wheel bearings, gave everything a nice coat of paint that wasn't painted before, tried to make it look as good as possible, brand new steering rack or whatever you want to call it, you know, new tie rods, new drag link, new idler arm. What else did we get that was new on here? New shocks, kept the same springs, but yeah, so it's all new. There's a couple bolts that I reuse, but other than that, it's new. Still needs an alignment. We'll tackle that. I mean, not going to be driving it for a while, so I'm not too worried about it right now. But get an alignment for it. At least try to do the string trick where I line it up with the rear tire and then measure it between these two. And that'll at least get me in the ballpark enough where I, not going to worry about it. This was a long project with a lot of learning for me, for sure. I mean, I remember the intake I did when this had 4.3 in it. That was a huge project for me, and this was twice that. So this was cool. I mean, it's done. Everything's torqued. Everything's greased. Is it aligned? No. Did I do everything right? I think so. I mean, thankfully, I got YouTube, so we got most of it knocked out. But next, tackling the firewall. We're going to get that done, and I have got something that Spectral Paints is sending me to show you guys what we're going to do with the firewall. And I think it's going to look great, and I think you're going to like it too. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching this video. I seriously appreciate it. There's been a lot of you that have been adding on here, that we've gotten a lot of new followers, so I appreciate you all following, and excited to show you guys what we got coming. See you next time.